While the great outdoors has certainly become known for the wildlife encounters I present, it is not common knowledge that I know a good bit about trees as well. In fact, I probably know more about trees than any animals. Trees are really like my passion. I spend a lot of time planting trees, learning about trees, and working with trees every single day. But without a doubt, when we think of the great outdoors as a place, we think of the magnificent trees that it holds. How could such massive organisms be overlooked? I mean, they're like ecosystems in themselves. They house animals, other plants, bacteria, fungi, and they're really the whole reason our earth is so sustainable. And it's kind of a shame that not a lot of attention is drawn to trees on YouTube. But I'm going to change that. I'm going to make sure I feature some of the most magnificent trees I've ever seen in my area, so that way other people who appreciate trees and want to better understand trees will have an opportunity to. So I have the knowledge of a tree that exists in an area that is undergoing rapid development. We're almost there now, and I want to share this with people. I think that if I share this with people, it might bring a little attention to the tree and hopefully help preserve the tree in the long run. It's kind of hidden. But don't worry, I'm going to tell you exactly where this tree is hidden at. If you go to Alachua in north central Florida, there's a restaurant called Sonny's Real Pit Barbecue. And behind that restaurant is a pretty popular dive spot. There's a little area that's a sinkhole that has like a spring in the bottom of it. And a lot of divers go there. They've actually connected this spring with other springs in the area by traveling through the aquifer to better understand how the water flows through the caverns and cave systems that can be found under the ground in the limestone that Florida lays on. Many people have died exploring caves here in Florida, and it takes some really brave people to be willing to go down into these cave systems and explore. Now I'm going to run a time lapse just to kind of get us in the right direction. So I'm in the wooded area where that tree exists. And if you look, I think one of the reasons the tree may have been left untouched for so long is just the sheer inaccessibility of this area. I mean, this right here is a huge drop off, probably 40 feet down. You got a giant sinkhole over here that's holding water. And then it's all like swamp and bogland down there, but it's all water. So it's super inaccessible, which means that trees that are adapted to survive in situations like water are left untouched, preserved, and we'll be able to see those here today. But I do have to find a way to get down there. And basically, I am going to slide down this hill. Or, yeah, we'll go down the hill. Okay, let's go ahead and slide. Wow, that was quite a slap. Get my booty real good. Jeez. That was a hell of a slide. I didn't expect that kind of slide. It's too late to go back now. Next time I'll walk around. Lucky I didn't get hurt. Alright, let's get out of here. I'm time lapse this way. The destination's about 300 yards further down into the wooded area. I got shit in my boots and my booty's all skint up. But we're going to make it there one way or another. We trek through the palm fronds and go up to the water's edge, only to find that the whole area is flooded, which is probably why it's still intact. When I think of Florida before European colonization, this is what I picture. A swampland with huge trees that existed. In fact, tales of stories of how a squirrel could travel from one tree to another all the way across the whole entire eastern United States just blows my mind. It's a shame not being able to see that anymore. Roads intersecting just about every point. That tree there is the reason we're making this video. Part of me is kind of disappointed that the water's so high we won't have the ability to go out and really get up close and personal with that beautiful big cypress over there. And part of me is relief because this environment right here is the only reason I guarantee you that these cypresses have been left alone. And I mean, that tree right there is probably well over 100 years old. I mean, I can't say for certain. I know that an anaerobic environment can cause a slowed growth rate. People think water helps trees grow, and it does, but when you have this much water, it inhibits the rate of growth. And a tree like the one over there that I'll show you from my old video I took years ago, who knows how old a tree like that is. I mean, I know this tree is at least 7 years old because I took this video 7 years ago. I'm sorry for the poor quality, but it's the best footage I have of this tree up close. I couldn't get out there today. I'd be wading in neck deep water if I tried. But being able to see it or bring back the past again is just cool for me to do. Now this tree is hundreds of years old. I have no idea exactly how old, but it's probably 70 inches in diameter, which is massive. They probably don't gain a third of an inch, even a quarter of an inch a year in diameter, especially growing underwater because it's an anaerobic environment. Look at the cypress knees. I mean, they're like 9 foot tall in some cases. That one there is over my head, so that makes it 6.5 foot alone. I know this isn't the most stunning footage you ever saw, but this is my promise to you that if I get a better opportunity, I will share it with you in the future and show some better footage of this tree. These cypress trees are really only thriving in environments that no other tree can survive. It's super anaerobic environments. And I'm a little sad that I can't go out there, but like I said, this muck, this swamp is probably the only reason these trees, these old growth trees, are still here. And I'm grateful that it's like this because I would never have the opportunity to see this otherwise. And I hope all y'all get an opportunity to see something like this in your lives. And while it's just a cypress bog or a little swampy area, it's awesome to be able to marvel at nature when nature is allowed to do what nature does. I've seen old photos of giant trees that once existed, and as an arborist, you see very few of those anymore. I'd like to take this moment to show you why things are the way they are. Right over in there is that really beautiful swampland with the natural cypress biome. And you can see, if we zoom out, what's going on in this place. What's happening all over the world. Everything is being developed, altered, and parts of history are being lost because of our rapid increase in population and needs for things. I mean, over there is the interstate. You got restaurants popping up left and right. And under the soil right here, I found Native American artifacts. Remnants of the past of what Florida used to be like before European colonization. It's my mission to help preserve as much of the history as I possibly can. That's why I studied history in college. That's why it was my favorite subject. While I can't change the future, I can at least help uncover and preserve the past. Now I'm going to bring you back to the cypress biome so we can continue talking about this amazing tree. I try to document and catalog as many of those as I can. I'm grateful I had the opportunity to discover a tree for myself that I don't think really many people even know about. Possibly no other arborist knows about. Starting from the water's edge, as we zoom up and look at this giant flare this tree has developed, we can realize a few things about this tree. One, that it's adapted to a life in the marsh. It's adapted to not having large root systems because the nutrients and water it needs aren't hard to get. There's a few key characteristics that cypress trees have that most trees don't. They have those knees, and it's believed that those help aid in gas exchange. That's why they're one of the only trees that can survive completely submerged underwater. That's the most widely accepted theory. However, one thing cypress trees do, and a lot of other trees do too, is develop a large root flare or taper at the bottom. Makes these trees strong like a pyramid and very resistant to toppling over. Because if you think about the mud and how slick it is, trees don't have a very good foothold in the mud, so these large buttressing roots are essential for these trees' survival. I do want to appreciate all of y'all, my viewers, and tree people and wildlife people. If you give this video a like, a heart, or please subscribe, I would appreciate it. It takes a good bit of time just to put a video like this together. I have to travel to film these things, so that will go a long way. I do appreciate you, and we'll see you next time, right here in the great outdoors.